Hello, hello. Welcome back. I'm Sid Schumann from PlayStation Blog, and we are here to talk Bloodborne. To my left is Justin Massengill, PlayStation Blog correspondent. Now, word on the street, Justin, is you've actually gotten a chance to see Bloodborne in action.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to check out this cool presentation we've got on the booth here, which you should all check out if you have a chance while you're here. And it looks good. I'm a big fan of From Software's games, as are you, Sid. This looks like it kind of follows in a similar vein, but it looks so good on PlayStation 4.
Nice. So Bloodborne is from Software. It's exclusive on PS4, Sony Computer Entertainment Japan studio, and directed by Miyazaki himself. So this is something, it's definitely inspired by some of the gameplay elements that have found their ways into Demon Souls and these games. Yeah. But this is definitely something a little bit different. Yeah. Everything I've been hearing suggests a game that's less sort of block attack and more offense-oriented.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So tell me about that.
Yeah, the character that you're playing, actually, instead of a shield, he's carrying a shotgun. So attack kind of follows a different rhythm than it would in like a Dark Souls or something. When we were watching the presentation earlier, the rhythm seemed to be that you would kind of use the shotgun to stagger an opponent, and then while they're staggered, you rush in with this cool like saw cleaver thing and just tear them to pieces, and there's a lot of blood when that happens. The game earns its title. Yeah, just big like splashes of blood coming off, and yeah, it's kind of gross. Not for the faint of heart.
So what kind of enemies did you see? Obviously the Souls game, very notable for incredibly imaginative creature designs. And obviously Bloodborne has just been revealed. It was revealed just the other night at PlayStation's E3 2014 press conference. Got a big reception when that From Software logo went on stage. Yep. But in terms of creatures, what did you see? Yeah,
it was kind of a dark, almost like an abandoned city type of situation. Lots of cobblestones. You'd see light reflecting off the cobblestones and everything. I can't overstate how good the game looked. But then these enemies would come out, and they're kind of like wearing tatters. There were like some big, like kind of humanoid type enemies with big, like sharp types of, I don't know what kinds of exact weapons they were.
Things to stab and gouge.
Indiscriminate, like slashing weapons, and they would come at you. There was actually kind of a boss battle at the end that was really, really impressive. Big thing comes swooping over like a castle type area, and just lands in front of you, ground shakes. And this thing looks, I have such a hard time trying to describe it. It almost looks like kind of Lovecraftian.
Lovecraftian, yes. I've heard people mention that influence. I'm a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan myself, so very, very interested to get my own eyes on Bloodborne. Yeah. Anything else that struck you about what you saw?
Yeah, well, I will say that going back to the combat, it's really interesting the way that there doesn't seem to be much in the way of defense. I saw a lot of rolling around in the combat rather than, you know, in Dark Souls, you would hold a shield, wait for the enemy to attack, they stagger, and then you go after them. But in this, it's just all attack. It's finding strategic ways to attack the enemy. And again, what we saw was very short, so I can't speak to the final product. But based on what we saw, it looks like fans of From Software's games will kind of have an idea what they're getting into, but it might throw fans of the studio for a loop once they actually get in there.
Yeah, something old, something new, maybe more than something new, maybe several things new.
Yeah.
Anything else? I mean, visually the game looks great.
Absolutely.
I know that the lore sounds really interesting. I mean, did they give you a setup on sort of the basic premise behind the game?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of information on that yet, but what we do know is that it's set in a forgotten city that was known for its medicine, and you journey there for some reason, presumably to find it, or I'm not sure what the total setup is there. But yeah, that's really just about all we got.
Yeah, I heard the same thing, that this town is known for sort of its healing.
Yeah.
And people sort of make pilgrimage there to get, you know, care for sicknesses and afflictions that they have. And I've heard that the main character also may be in that situation as well. But obviously there's something much darker at work happening in the city.
Yeah, I'm sure that we'll find out.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
The main character looks really cool, by the way. Really cool design on him. I'm not sure like what levels of customization there will be or anything. We haven't gotten a look at any of that stuff, but based on what we saw, he's got like this cool kind of like a hat thing going on, like the tri-corner hat almost, it looks like, with a long flowing trench coat and like a short cape that all kind of sways as you're walking. It looks really good.
In terms of just the atmosphere, we're just about, I think, out of time here, but just in terms of the atmosphere, what struck you? I mean, was it, you said it was sort of an abandoned city. I mean, did you see any other details?
Very dark, very gothic. very horror-centric. There's a lot of ambient stuff going on, bushes kind of swaying in the wind, lots of particles, looks like maybe like embers or ash floating through the screen with kind of a bokeh effect for ones that are closer. Very, very artfully done stuff. And yeah, I mean, I can't overstate how
words
good
fail you.
Yeah, it's a good-looking game.
All
I
right.
can't wait to play it. I want it now.
I want it bad. I want it bad. I know you and I are both big Dark Souls fans. This is obviously something new. This is something different. But clearly, Miyazaki from Software have built up a gigantic legion of fans based on just their expertise in a demanding RPG action setting. So definitely looking forward to Bloodborne. Really excited it's out there now. And look forward to that one coming on PS4 in 2014. It's an exclusive from Software and Sony Computer Entertainment Japan Studio. Coming up next, more demos, more PS4 games, and more PlayStation Livecast.